Alright guys, we got 2 make corrections to your quiz. So, solving by graphing, usually we've been doing this on our calculator. Some of you got a couple off because your graphs were so far off. Make sure that when you graph these, this top equation, it starts at 3, so we need a point at 3, and the bottom equation's at -2, so you should have a point at -2. Now if we go to our calculator, and we go up here to graph it, our first equation is -x plus 3, so -x plus 3, and our bottom equation is 4x minus 2. Okay, we hit graph. We can see it on our screen. So now we go second trace. Five, enter, enter, enter. And it tells us that our intersection is 1, 2. So on your paper, you should have the point 1, comma 2. You should find 1, 2 on the graph. And now you can draw your lines through there. Okay, so not only did you need your point of intersection, you also needed to have your graph correct. So that's why some of you got some off on that. Next one, again, both of them are on y equals. Top one starts at -2, bottom one starts at 5. Alright, so we go to our calculator and go back to y equals. Oops. Top equation is 1/2 x. And we have -2. Bottom equation is going to be -3x plus 5. And we hit graph. It gives us our graph here. We'll go second, calculate, 5, enter, enter, enter. And we get 2, -1. So we go back to our graph. We need to write 2, -1. We need a point at 2, -1. And then all we have to do is connect our dots. Okay, we've got 2 lines on those. The next one was a little bit harder because you had to get y by itself in the bottom equation. So you have -x, so you need to add x to both sides. You end up with y equals x plus 9. So in this case, top equation starts at 6, bottom equation starts at 9. Now when we graph it, so we've got top equation is 3/2 x plus 6. Bottom equation was x plus 9. When we graph that, okay, it doesn't show up on our screen, so we need to hit zoom 0. And it puts it on our screen. Now we can hit our second calculate. Enter, enter, enter. And we end up with 615 being our intersection point. And 615 is going to be somewhere up here. So you still needed to graph your lines like that. Your point was just going to be up off the graph, and that's okay. Okay, now we're using substitution, and this is where some of us had a harder time with, which is fine. Okay, but we've got y equals x plus 3. So we take our x plus 3 and put it in the box. And we're going to plug it in from the line. Now this was the most common mistake. got 3x minus x plus 3 equals 5. Now the deal is we have to take this negative and put it through to both. So I have 3x minus x minus 3 equals 5. 3x minus x gives us 2x minus 3 equals 5. 2x equals 8. So x is going to give us 4. When x is 4, now we plug it in. So y equals 4 plus 3, or y equals 7. So our point is 4, comma 7 for number 4. Okay. A lot of it, I didn't take a whole lot of points off because what a lot of you did was you forgot to put that negative sign through, and that's where some of you got the number 1. Okay, this time we have x by itself, so we need to put y minus 17 in a box. This time it's going in for x. Some of us put it in for y, and that's where we went wrong. So we have 4 times y minus 17 plus y equals 2, or 4y minus 68 plus y equals 2. So now we have 5y minus 68 equals 2. 5y equals 70. Got to take 70 divided by 5. We get 14. So y equals 14. Take it and plug it back in. So x equals 14 minus 17, or y equals negative 3. So 14 comma negative 3 should be our answer for number 5. Number 6. Number 6 was kind of a little tricky because the top, you have 3x equals 9. You need to get either x or y by itself. Okay, in this case, we're going to get x by itself by dividing by 3. So x equals 3. We're done with x because we now know that x equals 3. Now we plug it in down here. Negative 2 times 3 plus y equals negative 8. So negative 6 plus y equals negative 8. Add your 6 to both sides. Y equals negative 2. So we have the point 3, negative 2. And number 7. Okay, number 7, we've already got our x's are going to cancel out right away. So we get 10y equals negative 50. Divide by our 10. Y is going to give us negative 5. Now we can plug it in. So 4x plus 8 times negative 5 equals negative 20. So 4x minus 40 equals negative 20, or 4x, add your 40. Be careful when you add your 40 because you get 4x equals positive 20. So x equals 5. So you end up with 5, negative 5. Some of us just didn't add correctly, and that's where some of our mistakes were made in number 7. Okay. Number 8. Okay, I've got 2's right here, but I need one to be positive and one to be negative. So I can multiply the top by a negative 1. So I get negative 7x minus 2y equals negative 24. 8x plus 2y equals 30. So my y's cancel. I end up with 1x equals positive 6. Plug it in. 8 times 6 plus 2y equals 30. 48 plus 2y -9 for number 8. Okay, number 10 or number 9. Could have done it two ways. Somebody asked if they could multiply the top by 7, and that's just fine. But I did the first time through, and I think most of us multiplied by a -2. So negative 10x minus 2y equals -18. And then we've got 10x minus 7y equals -18. Our x's cancel. We have -9y equals -36. Our y equals 4. Come back up here, 5x plus 4 equals 9. Subtract our 4. 5x equals 5. So x is going to equal 1. So we have 1, 4 as our answer to number 9. Number 10. Okay, now they want to know, does it have no solution or infinitely many solutions? Okay, so I've got to multiply the bottom by -3. So on the top I've got 6x plus 3y equals 6. On the bottom I've got -6x minus 3y equals -6. Okay, so my x's and my y's cancel. We've got 0 equals 6 plus -6 is 0. That is a true statement. So we have infinitely many solutions. Right? So now number 11. We've got positives, we've got negatives. Multiply the top by -1. -3x plus 2y equals 0. 3x minus 2y equals -4. X's cancel, y's cancel. We get 0 equals -4, which is false. Therefore, we have no solution. Okay, number 12 was extra credit, but let's talk about it. Okay, my sweatshirts are going to be X. My sweatpants are going to be Y. Okay, so I buy 3 sweatshirts. I have 3X. Plus, I bought 2 sweatpants, so 2Y. And that cost me $85.50. Then I went back in. I got 3 more sweatshirts, and my sweatshirts are X. So 3X plus 4Y is going to give me 123. Okay. So if I multiply the top by -1, I have -3x minus 2y equals -85.50, or 2y equals, we've got to take 123, right? It's 123 minus 85.50 gives us 37.50. And then if we take that and divide by 2, divide it by 2, we get 18.75. Therefore, y equals 18.75, or my sweatpants are $18.75. We plug that in. We've got 3x plus 2 times 18.75 equals 85.50, or 3x plus 37.50 equals 85.50. So now we've got 85.50 minus 37.50, $48. So 3x equals 48. Divide by our 3, and x is going to equal $16. So my sweatshirts were $16. My sweatpants were $18.75. So if you've made all your corrections to this quiz, you can hand it in. Okay, you'll get some points back for that. If you don't have all of your answers in, you might have to rewatch the video or figure out the spot where you have it. Okay, have a good Christmas break.